Ron Briggs, Blackmore Vale Honey, and as you probably guessed by now, today we're going to be fitting windows and we'll also try and get the door in as well. So stay tuned and let's get it done. Back to the channel. We are going to be fitting windows today. It's a bit blustery outside. The rain's holding off, so let's see if we can't get this window in. So cut through, that was simple. All we're going to do is staple the wrapping to the inside to start with. That's the first job. Right, that's that cut out. Just a couple of staples. That's the hole now cut, which is cool. The next thing I ought to do is, although not quite fit it yet, is cut the sill. Now I usually like about 60mm overhang, 50-60mm overhang, but the sill with this one has come at 2,300. The hole is 2,200, so we've got no choice. We're going to have 50mm overhang, which is absolutely fine. So what we need to do is work out how we're actually going to cut this so that it sits square onto there, which is what we need it to do, but then loops around the edges. So let's have a look at how we're going to do that. Right, let's have a little talk about measuring, because we're going to have to do some quite serious measuring now to get the measurement right for this this window in. So tape measures are a wonderful thing. I know we all use them to take a measure, but there's more to them. For example, did you know that on the side of a tape measure, you see that? It's got a little arrow there, plus 3 1/8 inches. So what that means is, from there to there, where if you used to put it up against something, so from the back of the tape measure to the front of the tape measure is 3 1/8 inches. Not very good if you're working imperial, metric, but so all you need to do is when you take your measurement, you can put that right into the edge of the window if you need to. Take your measurement, and then all you've got to do is add 3 1/8 inches. So that's one thing. The other thing is, I don't know if you've noticed, but the little bit on the end there moves in and out. So you sometimes think, oh, it's not giving me an accurate measurement, but it actually does. It's designed that way especially. So if you're taking a measurement on the outside of something, then it pulls out to give you a measurement. So this piece of timber, for example, is going to be exactly 390mm. You saw that? It's exactly 390mm. But if we're doing an internal measurement, so say against the window there, then this bit then is, because it's been pulled out to do an outer measurement, it's already got a mil or a couple of mils added to it. So, but if we now do an internal measurement, we can push it out, push in, and let's see what that looks like. 390mm. So that's what that's for. That's to allow us to do internal and external measurements. So that works well. So what we need to do though, we need to work out what the actual, because we've allowed we know our window's 2,200mm, but we've allowed a bit extra for packing, getting it all square. So, but we want to cut our sill exactly the right internal distance. So how can we do that? Because we've got two internal measurements and the tape measure is going to get quite long at 2,200. So all we simply need to do is take a measurement from one side, make a mark, turn the tape measure around, the measurement from the other side, measure to that mark, and then add the two numbers together. So I've done that here on the sill here. I've got 1,300 millimeters. So all I've got to do now is take a measurement from there, which is 906. So add those two measurements together is 2,206 millimeters. Now the other thing we want to do as well, before we do that cut, we just want to make sure that that each edge is actually square. Because if it's not square, then we can make compensation when we actually do the cutting. Let's have a look at that one first. Well, that's not bad. It's square on that side. And it's square on that side, so no compensation needed. We just need to do that cut at 2,206 millimeters. Right. So it helps, or it certainly helps me, to draw a little picture of what the measurements are going to be and what I actually need to cut out. So the length we know, because you saw me measured at each end, is 2,206. I know that the length of the sill is 2,300. So what that I need to do then is take 2,300, or rather take 2,206 off of 2,300, which leaves 94, and then I need to halve that to get the to get each end to 47. So we know we've got 47 millimeters at each end. So that's the distance there, distance there, 47 millimeters. Now from the back of the sill to the front of the window, which is going to be this measurement from here to here, and then the sill will run around that corner, is 116, and that's the same on both sides. So mark that on my picture. So now I can now visually see what needs to be cut out, and I can transfer those measurements onto my sill, which is what I've done. So it's 116 there, 47 there, and so I'm cutting this piece out, and I've measured that on both sides. So that's what we need to do now. Okay, moment of truth. See how those ends have been cut out. Perfect. So now we've got it cut, it's ready to go in, but we don't actually want to fit it yet, because what we need to do is get some waterproof tape underneath the sill first and up in the two corners. So that's the next part to do. So this, it's rubberized and it's waterproof, and it comes in two pieces. You peel off, so it's self-adhesive. So what we do first of all is we will stick on first, but it's got to overlap. It's got to go over the edge as well, so it stops any water coming up and penetrating. So, and you want to make sure you go up at least 6 inches around the corner as well. Let's do that. Okay, so we've got the waterproof flash banding in. So I'm right on cue. It started to rain, so we'll get on with this quickly. The next thing we're going to put onto here, so between here and the sill, is some of this hybrid. It's flexible silicone and adhesive. So we're using the Sika Flex. It's from Screwfix. And the reason we want it flexible because you know, only being a wooden building, it will move, so we want it to flex a bit. All we can do is screw that in, and that will secure that, and it'll be nice and watertight. Right, so despite me telling you that the prevailing wind always comes this way, and usually you stand out the front of the garage or out the front of the workshop, it's pouring down with rain, you stay bone dry. Hence we thought we'd have a go at fitting this window. But no, today the rain come this way. So I haven't spoken to you much about fitting this window because I wanted to get it in, because obviously all the water was starting, the rain was starting to come into the building. I've got another window to fit, so I'll make sure that's a dry day and we'll go through that bit by bit. You kind of get the idea with this one, so I might switch them up. I might even show you that one first and then do this one after. Not in proper yet. All the fixtures and fittings are not in. I just wanted to get it in, get it dry. It's probably not even been towed and heeled properly. I explained that on that window. But yeah, but it's in and it's now dry. So I think it's time for a cup of tea. Right, so the sun is shining, it's dry, and we're going to have a go at getting this second window in. And hopefully it will stay dry for me this time. So the first part of it then, which we did get to see last time, getting the sill in, getting all that square, getting the hybrid silicon on there, the Aquatape, that's exactly the same as the other one, same way of measuring it and getting that in. So I'll get this cut out and we'll get the sill on, and then we'll take it from there. Well, if only everything were that easy, eh? Right, so sill's in, all nice and level, papers in, that's all done, we're all ready to try and fit the window. So the first thing we do is we dry fit it, just make sure it all fits. So just put it in, and then once we've dry fitted it, we'll just take it out again briefly while we get some more of that hybrid silicon on the actual sill. I don't think I mentioned who made these windows. So I had an extension done recently, and the windows that we used in that extension were from Modern UPVC Windows. Modern UPVC Windows. So the builder recommended them, and I went with them again. And then interestingly, I was having a look at Ali Dimmick's website again recently, or YouTube again recently, to see which windows he used, and they happened to be the same ones. So there you go. Yeah, they're reasonably priced, good windows, come with good instructions, got instructions online how to fit them. So yeah, I definitely recommend them. So there you go, Modern UPVC Windows. And I think I said the door was from Latham Steels, and both products I've been impressed with. Right, let's get the window dry fitted then. So there we go, I've put that in the hole, breathe a sigh of relief because our measurements were good and they were right. It does fit. Now what we've got to do is just take it out again whilst we put that hybrid silicon glue in, just on top of the sill, between the sill and the window. And then when we've done that, then we can put it back in, secure it with a screw, and then just actually get it fitted with all its packers, which we'll do in a moment. let's take this out again for a moment. Now this hasn't got, this window hasn't got any openers, which is a bit of a shame, because I won't be able to show you toe and heeling, but I will tell you all about it and sort of show you where it's got to go on the open windows. But because it's got no openers, it means it's nice and light and I can actually manage it myself. It's still the same stuff that we were using for the other window. Right, it's going to lift it in. Right, so that is now in and just being held by a couple of speed clamps. So the way I do it, if you look on the fitting instructions, it will tell you for the modern UPVC windows how many screws to put in for the size of the window. And for this one, it's actually 6, so it's actually 2 in each one. So what I'm going to do to start with is I'm just going to put 2 in this one, over the centre, put 2 in there, just to give the window some support, and then we'll get it vertical and we'll put 2 in the top one, and then we'll use packers and stuff for the rest of it. Right, so let's do that. Right, so top and bottom is square this way, and this is square that way. We need to keep it that way, but what we need to do on the edges is put some packers in there and actually screw through the packers. And again, just keep making sure everything's square. So and when you put your packers in and you put your screw, but make sure you put your screw through the packers. packers do come in all different thicknesses, starting with the red, which is the thickest, then down to green, which is the thinnest. And it's just a case of the gap on this one's too big just for just red, so I need to you can add them together to get the thickness. So we'll try red and green and see if that works. Blue and green, that was the colours. Now, what you're going to need now is you're going to need a few tools. So the first thing is just a scraper, any old scraper that's got a nice, relatively thick end on it. You'll need that for getting the trims on and off, and you're going to need a glazing hammer. Glazing hammer, it comes with the orange. I think the orange is harder than the white, but it's the white one you use for knocking the trims back in. It's very worrying when you start taking a hammer to your glass, but trust me, it works. So first thing you got to do is take the 4 trims off, and when you take them off, if you were to marry them up and look at them, it'll be like some of them will be a fraction of a millimeters out compared to other ones. But bear in mind it's been made in the factory, so when you take them out, lay them out the way you've taken them out and put them back in exactly the same place. That's the tip I have, and so you don't get them all mixed up. Just do one window at a time. Right. So the first thing we've got to do is put our packers in, which come supplied. So let me turn you around. So when the packers are in, and we're all ready then to fit the glass. So all we do is put the glass in place, make sure it's central, and now the way the glazing is made nowadays, it's so efficient, but it's even made the right way around. You have to have one side facing the outside and one facing the room, and there'll be a sticker on it which will say which side needs to face into the room. So we've got this facing the right way. We'll lift it into place, and then the easiest way to do it is put the short glazing bars in first. So I'm going to put the glass in, and then I'm going to put the bottom one in first, then the top one, because it's easier to get the longer ends in. So if you're working by yourself, so you need to have that first bar ready, otherwise when you go to get it, the thing will fall out. So let's get in there. So that's the first one in, and that will actually hold the window. So you can get one. They're quite difficult to get those glazing bars out again. So try and get them in right the first time. So. Looking good. So then it's just the left and right one. Now the way to fit these is they'll bend a little bit. They've got some flex in them. They've got them flex in them that way. So when we put them in, if we get the top corner and the bottom corner in, then it kind of, the centre wants to pull itself in anyway. That's got it. One. So if this one will go in a bit easier for me. That's that window fitted. Any glaziers out there, I apologise. Obviously, or maybe not apologise. You see me faffing around with that, making it look difficult, makes you look quite professional. But like I said, try and get it right the first time, because trying to get these glazing bars out afterwards is a bit tricky. So that's that one done. Now I've just got to fit the other two. And that's it. So that's the window fitted. Got all the pieces in. It's all level. It's all straight. It's ready to go. Now the only thing we didn't do, because this window hasn't got any openings, is talk about toe and heeling. So we'll go back to the other window and I'll try to explain for you. Right. So toe and heeling is all about where you place your packers on the window. So over time, when you're opening your windows, the weight can cause the window to distort a little bit, and therefore your handles might not align, even though some handles have got some adjustment on them. So toe and heeling is where you put your packers in order to support the window. And the packers simply go one there and one there, on the side of the window, one there, and then one in that far corner and that far corner. All right, and that's it. So that's where the packers go, and that braces the window, a bit like bracing a gate. You might be able to see that gate out there. Now that's braced from the hinge side. The hinge is on this side, and I think you see the brace goes up that way. So imagine that on the window. Imagine we had it braced there with packers. And that's it, it's toe and heeling. Right, so that's both the windows fitted. It's nice and bright in here now. And obviously when we get the skin on that wall, it won't be so much. So the only thing that's left to do on these windows, which we will get done today, is to crack the packers off square and get some expanding foam around the outsides. But what I'll do is I'll wait and I'll get the expanding foam done on the two windows, the doors. But let's move on and have a look at the door. So moving on, we're now going to look at the door. We've fitted the windows, now it's time to fit the door. So the first part of fitting the door is no different to the windows. I've fitted the sill already, so it's a case of putting the waterproof tape on there, cutting the sill to exactly the same as we did with the windows, although this one's aluminium. Fortunately my saw does cut aluminium as well. and then putting the old flexible hybrid sealant and adhesive, giving it a good dose of that on the bottom, and then sitting the sill in. The only thing I've done different this time, so I deliberately allowed for it, was after I put the sill, I've put some 4B1 on as my door frame, and the reason I've done that is that now comes proud, so that when I put my internal timber onto it, it'll marry up to that. So hopefully the door's going to fit in there. I should have allowed it right. There should be about 3mm all the way around. Now the door that I've gone for is by Latham Steels. It's a Latham steel door. To be honest, the price of it, 300 and something pounds. Really, it's actually cheaper than a UPVC door. And for a workshop, it just kind of makes sense to put a bit of security on it. That's the reason I went for it. The reviews were good. And so far I've been really impressed. The guy delivered it on time. When he said he was going to deliver it, he actually carried it from the van and propped it up against there, and that's actually been up against that wall for about 3 weeks now, and I've taken the wrapper off, packaging off today, and it's as good as what it was. It was so well wrapped and packaged, not a mark on it, which is brilliant. Comes with loads of stuff to actually fit it. So you've got your instructions, and also in the instructions there's QR codes to link you straight to their YouTube videos on how to fit it, and then just about everything that you're going to need to fit it. Comes with all the screws to actually get in there. Comes with the cylinder and the keys. You'll see when I come to fit it that the frame actually moves in and out, or one part of the frame moves in and out, so you can get it really square. As I said, comes with all your fittings. Even comes with silicone. It comes with the right size drill bit to do your drilling if you're going into concrete. A spirit level. I mean, how cool is that? It's literally everything you could possibly want to fit this door comes with it. So so we got the sill in. The next thing I'm going to do is just going to make it easier, is I'm going to separate the door from the door frame, and then we can get the frame in and see how that goes. So that's the next task. Okay, so I have dry fitted the frame, just to make sure that my frame was all correct before I actually finally nailed all that in with a nail gun, which it is. The next thing you have to do is fit these. Yeah, there's 10 of these, 5 each side, and these are they call them the wind out lugs. And you see how they go. And they just screw into there like that. You need to screw them all the way in, otherwise you won't get the frame back in. And then they give you, which is supplied, again, the Allen key, and you can see how that fits into the wind out lugs. Right, so when it's in place, you can wind the lugs out to fit nice and snugly into your door frame. So let's do that. Let's get it put in and see what happens. So this is actually quite simple. You put it in, you hold it, you just tighten one up a little bit just to hold it in place. I started at the bottom because then I could hold the back where it needed to be, just to get some pressure on it to hold it in place. And then you just go around tightening. You can see that in there. Just tighten them up, and you just using your spirit level until you get them all just touching, and then just go around just a little bit on each, just tightening up, just titivating it all till it's in place. Then the next thing you have to do is fit the door back on and just make sure everything's good before you then put the screws on. I'll show you that in a minute. So once it's in, you've then just got to take your time screwing up the bolts that just move the whole frame about a bit. So you might find that as you tighten one, the door then doesn't quite fit, so you just got to spend a bit of time working out. The trick is to get your frame in square to start with, which means starting off with a square sill, and then it should Nice. That is nice. Now the other thing is, connect that to one of your handles to start with. Any handle, it doesn't matter, because what I very nearly did was, because I just had this piece in, was when I shut the door, the thing slid forward and almost went all the way through, and if it had it done, I wouldn't have been able to open the door. I'd have had to cut myself an entrance. That's something to be careful of. Right, so once they're all in and it's all square and you're happy that it's all working, the next thing to do, you have those screws provided, which go into that can go into your brickwork. But for me, they were too long, so I've had to reduce those down a bit, or the size down. So I've gone for some 5x6s, and then all that happens is where the hole, and it comes with the washers, and where the hole is, you just go through the center of that and tighten it up. Let's see if I can show you. Like that. And you do that for every single hole. So let's do that and then make sure it's still working. Now the next thing I did was fit the Euro cylinder with your lock. Now to be fair, if you watch the instructions, it tells you to do that first, and I rather foolishly didn't. The only difference it would make is, as I was just saying just now about the make sure that you have the handle on so you can open it. Well, if you've got the Euro cylinder fitted, you can open it. So yeah, so fit the Euro cylinder first. It's really simple. Watch the instructions. You just make sure the longest bit, you can't see because I fit it now, but the longest bit faces towards the hinges, and then that's that fitted. The other thing I'm going to go on and fit now is the caps, which are capping over the wind out lugs, and they're as simple as that. So there's all 10 of those to be fitted. And then we'll get on with the next bit. Well, we put the rest of the caps in. Point to note though, some of these caps are flat, nice and flush. In fact, all the ones on this side are all flush. Yeah, but on this side, some of them are indented to accept the security stud. All right, so you need to be aware of that. And I think the pack that I got must have been for the double door set, because I got pretty much 2 of everything. So that's cool. This, then it was to the handle. All I can say with this is follow the instructions. Follow the instructions. It is so well engineered that everything is really, really tight. So it took a little bit of thinking about, but yeah, really nice. Really, really. And this is the budget door. Imagine what the premium doors are like. I mean, for a workshop door, that is just beautiful. That's it. And then there's comes with 3 keys as well. That's just awesome. Really, really, really pleased with that. So there is one more thing that's got to be done on the doors, and that is to put the foam. There's some foam that goes in around the edge here to make it airtight. So we'll get that fitted now. So the weather strip, so put that side on there. Just goes on into the rear part of the aperture. It's self-adhesive. You peel it off and stick it in, and it just goes all the way around. Gives it a nice weather-tight seal. That's it. So we'll finish getting that strip on. So there we are, guys. That's the door fitted. Not quite finished, but it is in. This is the view from the inside, and the inside has a lock which we can operate from the inside, as well as the keys. Outside, So from the outside, that's what it looks like. That is all in place. Again, all it needs doing on that now is the expanding foam around the outside. That's a door close, and it came with 3 keys. So really pleased with that. And I have got a trim to go around the outside, but we'll put that trim on after we do the cladding. So there we are. So that's the windows and the doors. So we'll finish the video here. That's the doors and the windows fitted. Really pleased with that. We've just got to put the expanding foam around the outside. So that's for the doors and for the 2 windows. Really pleased with how that's gone. So that completes that video. Thanks for watching. Not sure what the next one's going to be. Depends what materials I get, I guess. So we've still got to fit, still got the cladding to order. I'll probably get that ordered this week. I'm not sure how long that will take to arrive. And on the inside, we've got to get the insulation fitted. So I've still got a bit more of the cheap insulation that I got cheap. So we'll get that fitted probably over the next few days. And I've got another couple of sheets of OSB. So we'll get that on the ceiling. And then if we haven't got the cladding or the rest of the insulation by the time I've next got a day to do something, then we'll start on the water and the electric. So that's the end of that video. Again, thanks ever so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Hope you're getting something from this series, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks very much.